Brad Reed. I am a real life trader, and I'm here reminding you to be good. And by good, I mean get out of debt, achieve your financial dreams, and give generously to your community. One of the financial dreams most people have is retiring in some shape or form at some time. And a lot of us would give a lot more if we had a lot more comfort in our personal finances. You know, it's hard to be focused on the needs of others when you're so worried about the needs of yourself. So retirement planning and a lot of the other things that we've talked about in the previous videos will help with that. My wife looked at some of the material in here, kind of helped me with my slides last night, and she said there's a lot of buzzwords and big expensive type stuff in there, meaning complex stuff. So if there are things in this video that you don't understand and you're attending live, of course, feel free to type it in and ask me. If not, please check out these the previous videos. I will put a link to the playlist if you're watching this on YouTube in the information section below. So go check those out because each one of these videos is planning or does plan on building on the previous videos. So if you have done retirement planning, very, very few people have done inflation-adjusted retirement planning. And so we're going to go tackle that and check out what all this interesting and fun stuff is. But of course, the expensive lawyers out in California want me to remind you that this is a broad-based educational type session for entertainment and hopefully some education, but it is not considered specific, individualized investment or any type of advice. If you do seek individual and specific advice for your situation, please seek a competent and licensed individual in your area. All right, once again, the takeaways from the entire Financial Fundamentals series are make all financial decisions together. You know, a big part of being married or living your life with someone is to make those financial decisions together. 50% of divorces are due to financial disagreement. So, you know, it's perfectly okay to sit down with your special someone and say, hey, look, we're two different people. We grew up leading different lives. We had different experiences with money and different happiness ties to ways of handling money. And so we disagree on things, and that's okay. Let's take turns sharing why we believe certain money habits are the right way to do it, and we'll come to agreement because you guys get one financial mission for one marriage, and when you have two financial missions in one marriage, that leads to problems. I do have some friends, actually several people are telling me that they are watching these videos and they're going through this financial setup, and it's great for healing a marriage, and I strongly recommend it for anyone who is going to be married, is to get your financial beliefs and your financial plans and your financial mission in line before you get married. It will definitely help work off some unhappiness. All right, so number one, make financial decisions together. Number two, you can only be successful if you are prepared when the opportunity comes around. Obviously, financial planning is all about being prepared, and financial planning is about having a plan. If you are a stock trader, you have a plan. A lot of us have plans for a vacation that we go on. At any rate, we have plans for lots of things of our life, but most people don't have a plan for retirement. Or if you do ask them, what's your plan for retirement? They'll say, well, when I turn 65 or when I turn 67 and a half, I'm going to go play golf and visit family. That sounds like a retirement hope or a retirement dream, not a retirement plan. Between now and retirement, and actually during retirement too, you must spend less than you earn if you want to be successful with money. And you are able to retire, I don't care what age you are, when you are spending less than your money grows after inflation. All right, let's go get specific. Here again is the list of the steps in the Financial Fundamentals videos. Each one of these steps here on the left is a video. And one thing I wanted to talk about is the time involved for these. Now, these first three videos, it's pretty much watching the videos and talking about it with your partner. Just kind of come to an understanding and yeah, basically just watch the video and disagree with me, agree with me, but come to an agreement and discuss it with your partner. Creating a will can take anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks, maybe even 1 to 4 hours, depending on your situation. Getting the right insurance, that's usually a couple of phone calls. Again, a week ought to be plenty of time. The budget is a little bit trickier to create the budget. Sorry for wiggling my mouse like that, but I can't see it on one of my computers. At any rate, creating the budget is probably the most important step to being financially successful in the near term, and investing for a retirement or creating your inflation adjusted retirement plan to being successful for the long term. But creating the budget itself may take a couple of days. But over the first 3 months of using the budget, you're going to refine and hone in your skill on using the budget and sticking to the budget, and you're going to change your budget. So give yourself about 3 to 6 months there. Getting out of debt, this is the painful one. This is the one where you are going to have to sacrifice all of the fun stuff in your life. No, I'm just kidding. But you will sacrifice your lifestyle if you do it right, if you do it aggressively. Most people can get completely out of debt, except for the house, in 6 to 18 months. And if you have a budget, you can create a plan and a schedule on when various debts will be paid off and how fast they'll be paid off. And just by knowing that, hey, you know what, we're going to sacrifice our lifestyle. We're not going to go out to dinner. We're not going to go see movies. We're not going to go on vacation, but only until 7 months from now or 10 months from now, or whatever your timeline is. If you know that there's an end of the tunnel that you're in, then it gets a lot easier to endure that. Once you've gotten rid of your debts, the emergency fund can be very, very quick. And then investing for retirement and investing for your kids' college, that's basically instantaneously. I mean, you set up the accounts and set up your bank or whatever, set up some way to fund these accounts on a monthly basis or on a 2-week basis or however often you get paid basis, and that's done. This goes really, really quick. And then this final one is a lifelong fulfillment of just success after success. All right, other things that you can find out Real Life Trading is that over there. I'm going to go into more of some of this later on. So hit pause and read it if this is your first time through the financial fundamentals. And by the way, I'm going to say it one more time. These videos build on each other. So it's very important that you see the first one. This one is a whole lot of information about me and kind of narcissistic and boring, just like me. But these others, they pick up the pace, they pick up the speed, and they get from, these first are very, very strategic, and the last videos are very tactical. So you need to be sure and watch these, and I suggest watching them in order. All right, in this video, we're going to talk about what the heck is retirement planning. We're going to review one of the videos before. Let's see if I can get back to it. No, I can't get back to it easily. Page up, please. There we go. This one, 3 key concepts you can't live without. Wow, I'm having issues here. Number 2 and 3. Number 2 is compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. And you need to be sure that the most powerful force in the universe is working in your favor, not against you. Key concept number 3 is that inflation is the most dangerous enemy you don't understand. We'll talk about what I think are the steps that you should use for retirement planning. And we have a free calculator here for you, reallifetrading.com/retirement-calculator. And we'll go through that. We'll play with that. We'll talk about different account types and investing styles. And then we'll talk about how to update your financial mission. So let's get going. Retirement planning means to determine your financial needs in retirement and then create a plan in order to achieve that. And usually this plan has to do with how much are you going to invest in what types of accounts and what type of investment decisions are you going to make to grow that money as quickly as you can, but also as safely as you can. So retirement planning services are generally offered from financial advisors, investment advisors, tax professionals, financial planners, and insurance agents, and more. The term financial advisor is very, very broad and applies to a whole bunch of different individuals. Now, I've talked to a lot of these different individuals, and I've talked to a lot of these different individuals about retirement planning. And the big problem is each professional will focus on their area of expertise. For instance, the CPA is going to focus on tax shelters. The investment advisor is going to focus on different ways to invest your money to get to the most growth and the safest way. The insurance agent is going to focus on the best insurances you need. And I actually had an insurance agent tell me that the best way for me and my wife to retire is to spend $30,000 per year on various life insurances. And I was like, how in the world is that supposed to fund my retirement account? And they said, oh, well, if you don't use it, you can borrow against it, or you can take the cash value out. And of course, it was some ridiculous return compared to traditional. I don't know. It was just weird. I don't know if the guy couldn't do math or if he was just trying to sell me a product, but whatever it was, the point is you need to talk to all different kinds of people to get a round picture of your retirement planning. In this video, am going to focus on the investing side, but certainly get tax advice and get insurance advice. And I will throw this out there. Your last year of your life tends to be the most expensive. These days, let's see, it's 2015, and I think my number's about 1 or 2 years old. In 2013 or 2014, end of life expenses averaged around $250,000 to $350,000. And that includes, all of the emergency medical care. It includes therapy. It includes the senior living facilities. Dying is expensive these days, and you want to be prepared for it with the right insurances. And the real tragedy is that the first spouse that dies usually spends most or all of the retirement fund, and then the surviving spouse is left short. So consider that when you are planning for your retirement and you're putting your insurance and all that kind of stuff together. By the way, there is a video about insurances. I suggest you go back and see that if you've not seen it already. Okay, your goal for retirement planning is to determine how much you need to put in each month and your required rate of return. So the way that you invest, what is that percentage that you need? Do you need 5% each year? Do you need 10% each year? Do you need 16% each year? What is that required rate of return you need in order to grow your retirement funds to outpace inflation, not just before you retire, but also during your retirement? So I call it the inflation adjusted required rate of return. And of course, I'm not only going to show you how to do it, but I am going to give you a calculator for free. So you just type in some numbers and it spits out your answer. Okay, so you will have to take a guess at what your lifestyle needs are. You will need to take a guess as to the effects of inflation. You will have to understand your monthly deposit requirements and your abilities to do that. I think the first time I ran through it, it said I needed to deposit about $8,000 or $9,000 per month into my retirement funds, and I said I can't do that. So we changed some numbers and it works now, but I'll walk you through all of that. You need to talk about the required rate of return on your investments, and that's what we'll walk away with. Okay, let's review concept number 2. Concept number 2 basically says that the most powerful force in the world is compound interest. That was said by Albert Einstein. He was kind of a smart dude. What I like to say is money doesn't grow on trees, money grows like trees. It's painfully slow at first. You have to stay disciplined and let your money grow. But as it grows, it continues to grow and it speeds up the rate that it grows. So imagine if you were needing wood for heat in the winter. Maybe you lived in Alaska and you need to burn your fireplace for heating. You've got to let your retirement tree grow very, very large. And the whole point is that when you cut off a branch to burn it for heat, that the tree grows faster than you have to cut off branches, or maybe you have a whole orchard full of trees. Another analogy is as I say allergy, maybe my voice sounds a little odd, Dave, because I may be struggling with some allergies. Analogy, maybe you're a bird, and your bird works for sunflower seeds to eat. Well, most people, I think, would relate to a bird that every time they get a paycheck or a bag of sunflower seeds for their work, they spend it all and probably borrow more sunflower seeds so that they can eat, just keep eating everything that they can and borrow to eat any more. But we all know that the good and responsible bird is going to save a seed or two here and there and plant it. And then when those plants come up and produce seeds, they're going to gather those seeds and they're going to replant them. And then those plants are going to come up and produce seeds, and they're going to replant those, and eventually they're going to be producing so many seeds that the birds don't have to work anymore, because their retirement crop or their sunflower crop will be producing so much sunflower seeds that they don't have to work and they can just live off their crop. And hopefully their crop is so large that even in years where the market is down and they have a bad crop of sunflower seeds, they still have plenty to live off of, and or they have a budget where they can control their expenses and shrink their expenses so that they don't destroy their ability to increase the way their crops are growing. So I mixed some analogies there, I apologize for that, but the whole point of retirement planning is to get your money growing faster than you can spend it, including inflation. All right, so Albert Einstein said the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest. At 10% rate of return, which is the stock market average over the last 80 years or so, your money will double every 7 years. So if you had $100,000 in the year 2014, in 2021, it would be $200,000, which is pretty cool that your money doubles from 100 to 200,000. But if you're looking at retirement, $200,000 may not seem like that much, but if you let it go for another 7 years, it goes to 400. Another 7 years goes to 800,000. And then by the year 2042, you'll have 1.6 million, and that, my friends, is pretty cool. Now we're looking at a 35-year timeline here. So if you started investing $100,000 when you were 30, age 30, by the time you got to age 35, you'd 1.6 million. That sounds pretty cool. But realize that if you had started 7 years earlier, you wouldn't have 1.6 million, you'd have 3.2 million. So the longer you have for your money to grow, the faster it will grow. And that's the part that's pretty cool. And again, I go into this more in the video, the 3 concepts. Again, someone age 22, if they invested $5,000 at age 22 at 10% and never touched it, never put any more in ever in their whole entire life, they would still have $320,000 at age 64. I know a lot of people right now that are coming up on age 65, 67 because they meet with me and they say, hey, Brad, I want to retire. I've got $50,000. How do I do it? So, the point is, if you can just get people to invest and to leave it there, good things will happen. Now, most people that are watching this video or listening to me talk may not have 30, 50 years. Heck, I don't have 50 years to wait for retirement. So what are we going to do? Actually, before I go into that next point, let me finish up this slide. One thing I did want to say is if you, instead of investing $5,000, if you had $5,000 in debt, you can see that this thing will grow ridiculously fast. You got to pay off that debt. I did write an article that says everyone should retire a millionaire. You can Google it, Brad Reed, everyone should retire a millionaire. And I did the math that basically for $4 a day, at 10% return on interest or rate of interest, from age 22 to 65 is $1 million. So basically everyone could come up with $4 a day. And so therefore, I think everyone should be retiring a millionaire. All you got to do is open a trading account or hire a financial advisor that can hit 10% and have at it. Questions, comments, feel free to type them in. Here is some facts. I don't know where what the year is of the McDonald's menu, but obviously the one over here says 1970 cost of living. A new house is $23,000. The average income is $9,400. A new car costs $3,000. And you can read the rest of it. The difference between this and today, the reason today a new house costs so much more, average income is more like $50,000. A quarter pounder does not cost 70 cents and a Big Mac does not cost 65 cents. It has to do with inflation. Inflation causes the price of the things that we buy and the things that we used to live off of to go up every year. I watched that movie about Harry Houdini not too long ago, and I remember at the beginning, I think the girl he ended up marrying, is trying to decide if she wants to go see the show, and she has a dime. It cost a dime to go see the show, and she's holding on to that dime, and she's clutching it close to her chest, trying to decide, oh my goodness, do I want to spend this dime to go see the show? And of course, most of us today drop down $10 to go see a movie. Imagine if a dime was really, really valuable and expensive to you. I remember having great conversations with my dad. He would told me that when he was in high school, a cheeseburger meal cost about 40 cents. I remember him taking me to 2J's restaurant in Austin, Texas, close to 38th Street in Lamar. When I was about 5, 8, 9 years old, it was close to my school. And a cheeseburger meal then cost about $2.15. In 1998, a cheeseburger meal cost about $4. Now they cost about $6, $7, $8, depending on where you go. But remember, when you're planning on retirement, the price of a cheeseburger is going to go up. And it's not just cheeseburger, but it's the price of tires, gasoline, living, heating your house, blankets, sheets, beds. All those things that you need to live off of are going to increase during your retirement. Most people plan for the price of things well, I shouldn't say most people. Some people plan for retirement, the price of things at the beginning of the retirement. You need to be sure that you account for inflation through the end of your retirement. Because if you just watch out for the prices at the beginning of your retirement, you're going to be SOL when you get towards the end of your retirement. So at 4% inflation, which is the very common number used through history, right now some professionals are trying to use a lower number, closer to 3%, because on the mathematical models, blah, 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 that's what the math comes out to. But realize we have been in a state of extremely low inflation. In fact, we've had negative inflation some years. So that 3% is not a representative number of the long term. 4% is a much more representative number. But during a 30-year retirement, prices are going to triple. So I hear an investment advisor on the radio frequently saying, hey, you need to buy this investment product and it will provide you $50,000 for the rest of your life. And that sounds pretty cool until you realize that on year one of your retirement, you can live off of $50,000. But for that same lifestyle, at the end of your retirement, you're going to need $150,000. That $50,000 30 years from now is only going to be 1/3 of what you need. So I'm going to suggest that you invest for retirement in a way that grows your money, not just produces the same amount of money year over year over year. So it's very important that you grow your savings during retirement to outpace inflation. You got to get out of debt. It's ridiculous how many people are age 65 and still in debt. When you are age 65, you need to be wealthy towards financially independent and not royally hosed. Invest as much as you can, as often as you can. Prepare for inflation, because inflation is basically compound interest working against you. You need to grow your funds so you can outpace inflation. There is the link if you want to watch that video on understanding the three concepts. Again, I will post a link to the playlist and the information session below this YouTube video when I get it loaded on the internet. All right, retirement is when your money grows faster than you spend it. I had a buddy age 35 that retired. How can he retire at age 35? Well, he had a pretty decent size savings fund. He was really good at investing it, and he could grow that money faster than he could spend it. So he retired. So the mathematical model is basically you take your savings times your rate of return, subtract some from inflation, and that's what you are allowed to spend during retirement. Key Wester is saying that she remembers growing up, Big Mac was $1.99 and buy one get one free. Yeah, I don't think they have those anymore. At any rate, so this is during retirement. I think most of the people watching this video are before retirement. If you are in your retirement, that is your mathematical model. So if you are in your retirement, spontaneously having more savings is not that easy to do. Controlling inflation is not that easy to do. So you need to either increase your rate of return or you need to reduce your retirement expenses. So in this video, we can talk about how you can increase your rate of return, but check out the budgeting video if you need to reduce your expenses. Now, retirement planning is for between now and when you retire. So the first thing to do is take a guess at when you'll retire and how long you'll be retired. Determine how much money you'll need during your retirement. Calculate the effects of inflation through the end of your retirement, and then calculate your required rate of return and how much you have to contribute monthly. Experiment with different times, rates of return, etc., until it works for you. And then after you have determined what your monthly contribution and your required rate of return should be, go do it. All right, it's not enough just to get the numbers. You actually have to achieve those numbers by hiring a financial advisor or financial advisors. And there will be a video that I'm also going to link to how to choose the best financial advisor or learn how to invest. I'll tell you right now, my family has 3 financial advisors, and we've done the calculations to let those financial advisors meet our retirement needs. And then I am investing for our retirement wants and dreams. But here is that link. Let's go check it out. Oh, I have a lot of windows here. Which one? That one. Okay, so if you go to www.reallifetrading.com slash retire, have to spell it right, retirement hyphen calculator, and later tonight there'll be a link down here where you can go find this a lot easier. I'll also add this to the information box, the description box for the YouTube video. You get this fun page, and all these confusing calculations, they confused me. Scroll down. Also, by the way, I should tell you that this has a lot of assumptions built into it. The assumption, let's see, let's talk about the numbers and then we'll deal with the assumptions. All right, I'm going to change a few of these numbers. The stock market average is 10%, so let me change that. All right, so in this first box, what is your current age or the current year? It's 2015. And how many years are you going to retire? Well, if you're 40 years old and 25 years, that's age 65. How long will you be retired? The average retirement right now is 30 years. What rate of inflation do you want to use for? So you can type in a 4 there for 4%. How much do you currently have in retirement savings? 300,000 sounds like a lot. How about we just call it 200,000? Sorry. Let me move that phone a little bit further away. In retirement, what % rate of return do you plan for? Most financial advisors are planning for between 5 and 8% during retirement. So let's leave this at 8%. That'll be the highest. Before retirement, what % rate of return do you seek? 10% is the stock market average, so we'll leave it there. And then this last one is, if you were retired right now, how much income would you want to receive this year? So if you're retired today, how much money do you need to live off of? $51,000 is the medium income today. So actually, we can go ahead and just put this at $51,000. And what we see over here is that in order for this person to reach their savings goal, first of all, their savings goal needs to be $5.7 million. So in 25 years from now, in order for them to hit a $51,000 per year retirement income, they need to have $5.7 million in savings. Their current savings of $200,000 will be worth $2.4 million, and they need to put away $33,000 or $33,726 per year in order to hit their retirement goal. Now, $33,000 or $34,000 sounds like a whole heck of a lot to me. So let's see what we can play with to make these numbers easier. Well, we can work longer. Maybe they don't retire in 25 years. Maybe they retire in 30 years. Well, they still have to put away $18,000. Let's see if they work for 35 years, what we get to. Okay, $7,000 a year. That's not too bad. But now instead of retiring at age 65, you're retiring at age 75. That's not fun. Let's put it back. You can die sooner. If you died 20 years earlier, that makes things easier, but no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to play with that. I can't really change inflation. I can squeeze my fist really hard, but that doesn't change how much I have in retirement savings today. So basically, the things I can do is I can change what I want to shoot for during retirement, before retirement, or I can sacrifice my retirement lifestyle. Well, let's say I'm not going to change my retirement lifestyle, and let's say I want to be just in case I don't have the mental capabilities by the time I get to retirement to hit 8% a year. I'm going to hire someone else to do that for me. But let's say instead of 10%, and take a look at these numbers. What happens when I say instead of 10%, I'm going to get 15%. Well, now this number becomes negative. So in other words, you can hit your goal. In fact, you're going to go about 20, 30% over the goal. So let me back this off a little bit. Where's the magic number? 13 ought to be close. All right, so if you can invest at 13%, just a little bit better than stock market average. Again, 10% is the stock market average. So you would only have to be slightly better than average and contribute $4,000 per year, and you can meet your retirement goals. So the point is that you can come in through here and play with these numbers and figure out what your inflation-adjusted retirement, your inflation-adjusted required rate of return is, and how much you need to contribute each year, and you can determine your retirement goals. You can determine you're going to have a successful retirement. Maybe you want $70,000 in current buying power. Well, you need to increase your rate of return a little bit. There. If you can just get 15%, then you can retire with what today is $70,000. So play with these numbers, figure out what numbers work for you, and then let me show you these numbers down in here. Let me put this back at 50. And I want to talk about in the year 2070, with inflation, it will take $450,000 to provide what $50,000 provides today. Here's today's buying power. Here's the income from savings that you're going to need in order to achieve that. Now, on year one of retirement, this person is going to receive an equivalent of $166,000 in today's buying power. This calculator assumes they're going to spend every single drop of that. If you're frugal and if you use a budget, you don't have to spend all of that. You can reinvest some, and these numbers then stretch out. Also, these numbers do not include Social Security, pensions, or any other retirement benefits that may be there. So to me, this is a very conservative, worst case scenario way to think about it. And so that's how my wife and I calculated our retirement goals and our required rate of return and our monthly contribution. So I hope this works for you. Play with these numbers, find out the best situation for you, find out how much you need to put in your retirement funds annually, of course, divide it by 12 or 26 or however often you get paid to determine your monthly contribution. And be sure you put that on your budget. And then also get your rate of return. And then the trick is we got to go figure out the best way to achieve that rate of return. Questions, comments so far? All right, one of the big questions I always get is, with all the different retirement account types out there, which ones should I use? Now, I'm going to tell you there are a gazillion different account types. There's employer-sponsored plans, there's outside company-sponsored plans, there's financial advisors. It's ridiculous how many there are. I'm going to talk about a few, and before I do, I'm going to tell you that the rules of these account types change constantly. They change at least annually. Okay, every year the rules change. So you need to see a licensed CPA or registered financial advisor or someone that's licensed and competent in your area to find out what the rules are for you in your state. And I don't know if the rules change by county, but it's ridiculous how many rules there are, how often they change, and all that kind of stuff. So there's no way that I can put rules and descriptions on this page that are going to meet everyone that looks at them. So I've got estimations. It is not, I say it's not guaranteed or certified to be correct. I'm telling you right now, it's not correct. All right, but it's a shot in the right area. So there is one type of retirement groupings, or a group of retirement accounts called defined contribution. Now, a lot of you guys have probably heard about a 401k or a 403b or a TSP or an LMNOP. I don't know. There's a bunch of different names for these where your employer matches a portion of what you put in. Okay, so you can put some in, and then your employer says, hey, I'll kick in some. The 401k is basically the corporate fund. The 403b is like a not-for-profit or a government fund. I think governments do TSPs. If you have a small business, it might be an SEP, or it might be a simple, or there's just all kinds. But the whole point is, if your employer is going to match a portion of what you put in, it falls in this category. Generally, you are limited how much you can put in each year. I know for 401ks, it's a pretty significant amount that you are limited to, but you are limited. Maybe you want to put in more. That's great for you, but you can't do it all in a 401k. The thing I like least about these types of plans is that they are very, very limited in the investment choices. You might only have 5, you might have 10, you might even have as many as 20 different investment choices. And then most of those investment choices are gosh awful mutual funds. So the best you can hope for one of these types of plans is generally 6 to 9% rate of return year over year over year. Now, yes, I've seen 401ks that it did 18, 22, 29% in a year. But year over year, to be able to invest successfully and beat the market in a 401k or 403b or one of those is very, very difficult. Now, another very popular type of retirement account is called a Roth IRA. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. And the cool thing about this is you pay taxes on the money when it goes in, not when it comes out. So if you put in a little bit of money each year, you pay taxes on that. You pay a little bit of taxes each year, but when it comes out and after it's grown to a gazillion $1 million or however much you get, it comes out tax-free. I don't know about you, but based on that previous model where that family has to put in $8,000 a year and they get out $5.8 million, I'd much rather pay taxes on $8,000 a year than I would on $8 million or $5 million. So Roth IRAs are great. There are some financial restrictions. Only certain people qualify for them. So again, see the CPA, see a financial advisor to see if you qualify for a Roth IRA. Again, you are limited on how much you can contribute. I think it's like $5,000 or $5,500. And then if you're married, it's a different number. And if you are married and you make this much money, then you can put in this much. And if it's an alternating Tuesday with the full moon of the month, I don't know. It's crazy how much this stuff changes. A Roth IRA can be managed by a financial advisor. So if you have a number like my family or a number like the example that we looked in there, 13% or 10% or 8%, finding a financial advisor that can hit those numbers, easy. Another type of IRA is just the IRA. Sometimes it's called a traditional IRA to differentiate it from the Roth IRA. Sometimes it's called a rollover IRA, but it's all the same type of account. If you did work for one of those employers where you had a 401k or a 403b or whatever, and then you left that job, you have to do something with that money. And if you take it out, you get taxed and fined, and government basically takes half. So you want to take that money and roll it into an IRA. Now, some people, when they leave a job, they leave the 401k where it is, with its gosh awful investment choices, with no one to look after it. This is a mistake. Okay, if you leave a job, if you have 401ks from your past employers, take that money out, talk to your CPA, your financial advisor, or talk to a professional, because you want to roll that money over into an IRA. I have heard of cases where that old employer or whoever tries to contact you and they are unable to, and so they take the money back. So those old 401ks can disappear. All right, so the traditional IRA is different than the Roth IRA because you pay taxes when you take the money out. Some people think that during retirement you're going to be in a lower tax bracket than you are now. Whatever. I don't think of taxes going down very much. I usually think of taxes going up, which is why I like the Roth IRA. Again, the IRA can be managed by a financial advisor. Folks, the Roth IRA and the IRA have a ridiculous number of investment opportunities available. You can buy stocks. Most of them you can buy options. You can sell options. You can sell stocks. Some of you that are watching this video may not know you can sell a stock that you don't own. If you think a stock is going down, you sell it first and buy it second. And sometimes you can do that in IRAs. Not all the time. All right, so a different type of retirement account, which a lot of people love, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's called the pension. And this was very, very common 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. But the problem with pensions is that they have, one, a very, very low rate of return. Supposedly it's guaranteed, but that's as long as the employer operates the fund. If your employer goes out of business, oh my gosh, like that happened in 1987, it happened in from 2000 to 2003. It happened from 2007 to 2009. There were lots of companies that had pension funds and they went out of business. And those people that had worked for those companies for 50 years that were expecting pension payment for the rest of their life, it stopped because it wasn't their money. It was the employer's money. They thought it was their money, but it was not their money. My family has decided that we are not going to risk our retirement on someone else paying us with their money. And there's a lot of, there was it California or New York? There was some governments that decided to stop paying their pensions. Pensions are scary to me. So again, a pension is a guaranteed payment as long as the employer operates the fund. It's a very, very low rate of return, 1 to 6%. Oh, and by the way, when you die, the money goes back into the fund. It goes to random strangers. If you have an IRA or a Roth IRA and you die, that money goes to wherever you want it to go, to your heirs, to the church, to any kind of charities. You tell the money where to go. And then another type of pension is called a 412I. It's basically a pension fund, but that's operated by insurance company and other so-called guaranteed companies. And again, these companies can go out of business too. Personally, you might have figured it out. I like Roth IRAs and IRAs the best. I like 401ks second, and pensions and 412s. I'd rather stick a fork in my foot. Okay, do you invest like it's pre-1970? There's a lot of people out there that insist that buying and holding is the best way to make money in the market. A lot of these people that are insisting that buying and holding is the best way to make market get paid from your money whether they win or lose. Let me rephrase that. If a financial advisor is managing your money and that financial advisor loses a lot, they still get paid. Now, buy and hold started great in 1950s to 2000s. It was awesome, right? The market just kept going up and up and up steadily. For 20, 30, 50 years, market went up steadily. And look at the size of these financial disasters. Oh my gosh, look how little those are, right? But at that time, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. What happened? This one right here, that last one I just highlighted, 1987. Right? Remember, that's where they were saying that Ronald Reagan was the Antichrist because Ronald Wilson Reagan had 6 letters in each of his 3 names, 666, because the stock market went that. I mean, it was ridiculous what was happening. And that was a very, very scary financial situation. I mean, everything was going crazy. Look at today's market. Look at today's downturns compared to back then. And then look at this rapid upturn, and then another crazy downturn, and then another rapid upturn. The speed and the volatility in the market today is unlike anything that we have seen in the past 70, 80 years. So my point is, if you're investing like it's the 1970s, 1980s, 1960s, you're missing the big picture of things. Find a financial advisor or learn to trade yourself so that you can make money when the stock market goes up or the market goes down. Now let's take a look at the last 15 years again. Okay, the market went down a lot from 2000 to 2003. What if you had a way to make money when that market went down because you hired a competent financial advisor, or you were able to short the market and you knew how to make money when the market goes down? So let's add that to 0. And then you made money when the market goes up. You made money when the market went down in 2007, 2008. You can see that the growth that you can experience now by riding the ups and by taking advantage of the downs, it is just a world of difference. So I'm going to put a video in the description below that talks about, do you invest like it's pre-1970? Because investing now is completely different than investing 20 years ago. So be sure you are investing to take advantage of today's market and today's equity options, because they are a lot different. All right, Real Life Trading offers free educational videos to learn to invest and trade yourself. They are free. Okay, my monitor is having issues. All right, I think I'm still recording. Real Life Trading offers these for free. Yeah, there's no cost, there's no trick, there's no back end, it's free. All right, so investing styles. One thing you can do is hire a financial advisor. These are great if you are unable or unwilling to invest for yourself, or you're still learning to trade. My financial advisors, I've told them to go and hit 16 because that was my number, our number when we did the spreadsheet calculator I put up there. So I found 3 financial advisors that showed me data that they can hit 16%. Now, for my personal investing, I've only been investing for a year or 2 or 3, and I have not consistently beaten 16%, but they all know that when I do consistently beat 16%, I'll be taking some of that back. So it's perfectly okay for a stock trader to hire a financial advisor. And you can also kind of do what we did and say, hey, financial advisors, you take our financial needs and I'm going to invest myself for our financial wants and dreams, however you want to do it. Now, for the buy and holders, there are some new equity options out there, and they all called options. You can buy insurance for your investments. So when the investments go up, you buy insurance, you buy a put, and you lock in that gain. And you can add to that by selling what's called a call. And basically a call says you sell the right to sell your stocks at a profit. So a lot of you guys really like to sell for a profit, but how would you like to get paid to sell at a profit? And by the way, if you don't sell those stocks at a profit, you still keep the premium that you sold the call for. So by using callers, you can add up to 12 to 24% to the market rate year after year. If you don't know how to do a caller, please go check out the free videos at reallifetrading.com. Credit spreads are another very popular way to trade. Both callers and credit spreads take very, very little time. I'd say you could probably do these in an hour per week or less. An hour per week or less. And credit spreads come in basically 2 flavors, a bull put spread or a bear call spread. And if you do enter a bull put spread, the stock can go up, it can go sideways, it can even go down a little bit, and you still win. I mean, most people think that's pretty cool that you can invest, and if it goes up, sideways, or down a little bit, you still win. Oh, and there's a hook. If it goes down a lot, you can win a heck of a whole lot more. If you want to learn how to do credit spreads, go check them out at reallifetrading.com. I took a wild shot. Oh, I forgot to update it. Oh, no, I did update. Okay. Most people look for 10 to 30% in these things. Real life traders, we're doing anywhere from 5 to 10% either a week or a month, depending on the type of spread. And since we started this 9 months ago, the profit that you would have currently currently have is 7 times whatever you risk. So if you risked $5,000 per credit spread, your account would be about $35,000 right now. Another type of trade is swing trades, where you buy and sell stocks or options and you hold for a few days, a few months. Again, most people are going to expect a return of 10 to 50% per year. The real life trading swing trades are up 55% in just 3 months. If you want to swing trade, you're probably looking at anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour per day. An hour sure does seem like a lot per day. But again, that's 5 hours per week. Most people can find that amount of time, especially if you can hit 55% in 3 months. Day trades is where you buy and sell stocks or options, but you don't hold overnight. Now, granted, this does take a whole lot more time. I'm a stay-at-home dad 2 days a week, and I teach classes for about 3 or 4 hours a day, and I still find time to day trade. The expected return is 20% to 100% and higher. The real life trader day trades, currently we're up 186% in 9 months, and I think we're up almost 10% as of November 4th. Yeah, maybe it's only 7 or 8%, but in the first 4 days in November, first 3 days, it's Wednesday, November 4th. In 3 days, we're up about 6 to 8%. So day trading really has a lot of power. It takes a lot of time, but there are lots of different options, lots of different ways to invest. Find the one that works for you, and if you want to learn how to do it yourself, which I highly recommend, reallifetrading.com will teach you for free. I talked about the real life trading credit spreads, and I talked about real life trading swing trades, and I talked about RLT day trades there. We do these in live webinar rooms. So if you want to come and watch us day trade live, go to www.reallifetrading.com/rooms, and you can sign up for the webinar and watch us day trade, watch us swing trade, and watch us do credit spreads live with our real money. Okay, we're doing it with our own money. It's not just pretend. We're not one of those stock trading teachers that will teach other people how to do it, but we don't do it with real money. We're doing it with our real money. All right, once you have determined your monthly contribution and required rate of return, you take these different account types and you put enough into the 401k or 403b or whatever it is to max the employer match. Okay, to max your employer's match is another way to say 100% rate of return guaranteed. 100% rate of return guaranteed is pretty awesome. I might venture to say that 100% guaranteed rate of return is an awesome possum that's dipped in chocolate frosting that smells like a blossom. And if you've been in my class, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're trying to maximize return and your employer offers you a match, take the match, then contribute into a Roth IRA. And with the money in that Roth IRA, either hire a competent financial advisor to do it for you or learn how to do it yourself. Feel free to subscribe to the RLT trading rooms, and you can watch us how we invest our money, and you can learn how we do it, so you can do it yourself. If you do not qualify for a Roth IRA or the maximum contribution you have exceeds what you can put into a Roth IRA, then you can contribute to a traditional IRA. And again, you can hire a financial advisor, you can trade that yourself. And then if your monthly contribution exceeds your employer match and exceeds what you've put into your Roth IRA and exceeds what you put into your traditional IRA, there's still more left over you need to put in each month, then you can look at some of these different types of accounts. And again, you want to consider your preference for time available, tax consequences, but you can open a brokerage account and you can trade it. You can also have a financial advisor trade that for you. You can put more into your 401k, 403b, or whatever it is. You can do a pension or annuity if you want, or look at other investments like real estate, investing in businesses. But the point is that this is one way where you can maximize your returns. If there's one takeaway from this whole slide, if your employer is offering you a match, that's 100% rate of return, take it. All right, next steps. Do this with your partner. Use that calculator to determine your inflation-adjusted required rate of return. I know that's a lot of words, but it's that percent that you're looking for year after year. And also determine the monthly contribution that works for your budget. If the monthly contribution doesn't work for your budget, you need a higher rate of return. There's the web link for the calculator. So determine how much to contribute to which accounts. Again, take into account how much rate of return you can get for each different type of account and how much you are putting in each account, and make sure that the final number is going to work for you based on that retirement calculator. Put this in your budget. Go to your bank's bill pay and tell it to automatically take money out of each paycheck and put it into the accounts. A lot of these retirement accounts, a lot of financial advisors can put an automatic draw on your bank account so that you don't have to think about it. You don't have to go write a check. They will pull it from your account for you. Very, very important that you get that monthly contribution every month. Set up the accounts, open them up, and or hire a financial advisor. A financial advisor can open those accounts for you, and then go achieve your goals. While you're doing all this, learn to trade for yourself. It's free. You can at least understand what your financial advisor is doing, and you can take over if you have the time. Again, credit spreads and swing trades do not take a lot of time. Even if you want to be a day trader, it doesn't mean you're going to be in a bathrobe eating Cheetos in front of your computer all day long. And then, of course, if you want to watch us trade, if you really want to take your education to the next level, join the trading rooms. We do explain a lot. If you ask us why we're getting into a trade, we would be happy to tell you. And if you challenge us on a trade, maybe you can talk us out of it. And, the folks that are in those rooms, We really do feel like a family. If you're new and you have questions, there are a lot of people that are going to want to reach out to you. Jeremy Newsom answers 500 to 1,000 emails a day. He answers text messages. We even have a phone application where if we are going to place a trade, we'll send you a message on the phone. So those trading rooms, I think, are pretty cool. I'm worried I sound like a sales pitch. There is a fee to get into those rooms. So check that out, and if it's what you want to do, great. But what you do, watch those free videos and learn how to trade for yourself. All right, once again, make all financial decisions together with your partner. You can only achieve success if you are prepared. A big part of being prepared is to have a plan, and that plan needs to be spending less than you earn and preparing for retirement so that you can spend less than your money grows after inflation. All right, homework. Update your financial mission with your partner and on paper or Excel or some computer document. Calculate your required rate of return and your monthly contributions. Update it on your budget. Go open the accounts and do it and crush it, and then learn how to trade. Learn how to trade. My mouth is done talking, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you guys have any questions, email me, brad@reallifetrading.com. A couple of you guys are already sending me emails. I will respond to you. I appreciate your time very much. Thank you for watching the video. Again, if you're watching this in YouTube, there's a description box underneath the video, and I'll put a lot of those links into that video. This was a longer video, still less than an hour, but it's going to take a while for this video to download and upload. So for those of you that are here watching, or those of you that are waiting for it to be on YouTube, it's probably going to be late tonight, maybe tomorrow morning by the time I finally get it there, but it will be there. Thank you guys very much. If you have any questions, type them in, send me emails, and I'm going to click the button to stop recording, but thank you guys for watching the video, and as always, trade on logic, not on hope. Have a good one, everyone.